This is Sir Boss 37 from the Guild Exception. And you're listening to the Escape Podcast. And it is recorded in front of a live studio audience. But although, is anyone ever really gone?
One is a territory war specialist from Australia. The other is a territory battle tactician from the US. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. But with over a combined 45 years of entertainment under their belt, the one thing we are sure of is that you will be entertained. The CFH Network presents the Escape Podcast, a weekly show about the mobile game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Live from the network studios of Yavin 4, here are your hosts, Scotty McLaren and Paul Anthony.
Coming up on this week's edition of the Escape Pod Cast, the new territory battles are on the horizon. What's in the video? The Grand Arena Championship exhibitions is working as intended for them. SB Crumb talks about his favorite things, and I, Grande, get to choose the topics on the bridge. I'm GrandePatron, guest hosting with Scotty and Paul on the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast News.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Escape Pod Cast, and yes, you did hear that right. GrandePatron and Scotty both join me this week. This is our first episode where we actually have a guest host for the entire show, except, of course, for the special Crumb Time episode or segment coming up in just a moment. Let's jump right into this, guys.
Well, first things first. Can I just throw out there, if I can, please, Grande, welcome to the show, brother. Yes.
Hey. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Glad to be here. Glad to represent Reality Skewed Gamers. I know you've had my my brothers in arms there on before, and we got a lot to talk about. Absolutely.
Yeah, we do. Paul, let's get into the nitty gritty, man. Let's go.
Yeah, so yes, I didn't mean to step on your toes, Grande. You got to do the intro. I thought I'd just roll into it, but we'll see here. All right, so territory battles. I mean, it is the hot button topic, at least for me. And, you know, there is something that they were going to give us, but there was some unreleased content that we, of course, would have shown in that. So we had to wait for CG to actually release it. The video for territory battles, the trailer, if you will, is out. Scotty, what did you see in this trailer? You've been geeking out.
Oh, man, absolutely, yeah. Big shout-outs to Mobile Gamer, actually, for this one. He actually found this in the trailer alongside a number of people on Reddit. So what happens is that you go into the holotables, you're seeing all the holotables, and then you go into the into the guild area, and then we see the guys, they're all sitting there, they're all playing, and then we go down inside the territory battle map. Now, inside the territory battle map, straight away, we managed to see in there all the Separatists. They're all there. We also see a Sarge in there, which means that, I was right in my speculation, thinking that the Night Sisters are going to be needed in this territory battle. And then in the background, after what I'd been saying for ages, Jango Fett is there. And, it made me think as well, look, the bounty hunters need to be in this game at some point, especially for the Dark Side territory battle. Now, if you'll indulge me, fellas, I've actually been saying this for quite some time. Probably a good thing to work on these other bounty hunters of yours as well. Now, I'm talking about the likes of Jango Fett, Aura Singh, also Zam Wessel, and Cad Bane and Embo. They're the ones that I reckon that you need to be working on, and, well, I guess you could say it's kind of confirmed with Jango Fett sitting there in the background, and I reckon we'll certainly need him. Boys, Grande, I'll throw to you first, man. What did you think of that?
First of all, I think that they did a great job on the video that we had. I thought it was really awesome. I'm not sure you're going to need all of the bounty hunters. I do think Night Sisters are an excellent PvE team. They have been for quite some time, and maybe they'll throw some homage to Asajj Ventress. Maybe they'll throw some homage to Jango Fett. It's really anyone's guess at this point.
Okay, Paul, what did you think?
We do have. If you looked at the video, and you paused it at the right time, you do see the red lines that would divide up everything. So you've got two areas in the front, kind of the staging area for Geonosis. Then Scotty, slice 2. If we're going left to right as it looks, slice 2, we already get the Acklay in slice 2 right there down at the bottom.
Oh yeah, baby! I can't wait for that Acklay.
So the arena is featured in the bottom of slice 2. Slice 3 looks to be just your run-of-the-mill, pain-in-the-ass, territory battle slice. But I'm sure there's a big surprise in there somewhere. But slice 4, my friend, the negotiator sitting up at top in the middle zone of that, or the top ground combat zone, is the location of the finale of episode 2, Attack of the Clones. And then on the bottom looks straight out of the cartoon.
It does. It looks amazing. I like the look of this territory battle map, and I do have to say as well that, the guys that do the artwork for this and also that trailer, they need to be congratulated because that was sensational, man. I was geeking out about this straight up, and I was like, just give it to me now. I'm not a territory battle guy. I'm a PvE guy. I like playing against PvP. I like playing territory wars, but hey, I'm keen for this. What about you, Grande?
Yeah, I'm ready to do something new as far as territory battles is concerned. We've played the Hoth battles for a long time. I just want to see us, have a new, battle to fight. And it definitely is going to be challenging from everything we've seen on the forums. I just hope that it looks graphically appealing.
I agree with that. I think it will. Definitely with the Acklay. How can that let you down? So keen to see that in battle. I think that's going to be awesome. And the little bit of footage that they showed of the Acklay. Paul, man, you must have been geeking out hard over this, man. Seriously.
Oh, I mean, we didn't see the actual Acklay fight, which I was slightly disappointed in, but we saw the Acklay fighting B1 battle droids. But what has me really geeking out, and what we were able to talk about when we had Carrie on, is the platoons. Some of them now call in reinforcements, including that rocket trooper.
Yes.
From the tank raid.
Yes.
That is so.
Yes.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. I'm keen for that too, Paul. I can't wait for that rocket droid. I mean, I just think that, that's a character that I think a lot of people have actually been keen on in this game for quite some time. Grande, you've been playing this game since 2016, 17, man. So you must be excited to see the rocket droid finally being able to be used.
Yeah, so anytime we get the ability to to play with a new character, it's really kind of the IP that this Star Wars game has, right? And the rocket trooper definitely can do some serious damage, in the AAT. And so having that available and seeing what its abilities are, and the strategy of being able to potentially have more than 5 characters on the field on our side could lead to some really great synergies, I think, if you set up your characters and your team right.
Absolutely, yeah, totally agree.
Grievous.
Yeah, sorry. Grievous. Yeah. That's exactly how it's going to be, guys. And look, I've got to say that the difficulty comparison, though, the difficulty that's out there at the moment is pretty intense. Like some people are saying, oh well, I wish that the 80,000 guilds could possibly could do this, but. It looks like if you are over the 80,000, you're going to get 1 star or something like that, Paul. Is that right? You've got it all up there.
Yeah, 1 to 2 stars if you're an 80,000 guild.
Wow.
It's like that old Christian Bale meme. Oh, good for you.
So, Grande, what would be your advice, man, to those sorts of guilds, man? Because I'm thinking that they probably should be just thinking about stick with Hoth territory battles, wait for the bigger guilds to start doing this, and then you'll start getting all these videos out and the like about how to do it and how to complete it, what teams you need, yada, 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 and then they'll be able to complete it as a guild together.
I guess it depends on if the guild wants to play new content or they want to min-max it, right? I think that's really where it goes down. According to that post that we got from Crumb that talks about, it looks like that if a guild's probably in that kind of mid-range, if they're kind of in that 140 to 160 million GP range, they might as well try it. They might be able to actually end up with better rewards. A couple of things. I learned this in college. If you're cramming for an exam, the first thing you want to read is all of the bolded values. The next thing you want to do is look at all the pictures, and the third thing you want to do is read everything in italics. Well, if we do that, we get value, progression, word of warning. Again, these are projections and your experiences may vary, rewards, and a caveat that things may be tuned differently when this thing actually launches, which means when you read it like that, it basically tells you it's a nice post, but we do probably need to take the possible star ratings per GP with a very large grain of salt.
Yeah, I agree with that. I couldn't agree more with that. But, look, that's a great way of putting it. And I love that, actually. I think that's fantastic, the way that you put that. But, I want to actually now talk about, this 16,500 characters thing. Now, this is something that they also threw out there, to everybody, that, you will need characters at around about 16,500 each. Now, Paul and also Grande, if you'll both indulge me for just 1 second, I'll go into my Separatist squads. Now, I'm actually, all my squads, every single Separatist that is out there in the game right now, I've got them all at Gear 12. Now, I can tell you that my lowest at Gear 12 is Geo Spy, and he's currently at 16,726,000 GP. That's what he's at. So, looking at the cutoff, 16,500, you're going to need to get your characters to Gear 12. Simple as that. Just to even be able to compete.
I mean, I've got Poggle the Lesser, no Omegas. So, well, I don't know if Metal Hive had a Omega or not, but Poggle the Lesser, 16,312 with essentially blue mods across the board, and all I'm missing is the last little bottom right MK power cell. So, and he's 16,3. So, yeah, and you're telling me the spy barely gets to 16.5.
Yeah,
and I've got him at 12.5 right now.
Yeah, so my spy is at 16,726. I have a blue mod, a purple mod, 2 gold mods. I've got 2 blue mods, 2 purple mods, and 2 gold mods on him, and that gets him to 16,726. So that just makes him get in. Now, look, we saw this just recently with the Darth Malik event, and there is rumors out there that that's going to be coming back sometime soon. Well, if you read the tea leaves, I'll just quickly mention this, that, Malik did come 2 weeks after Darth Revan, so, watch this space, but might be coming soon. Yeah, but
right after territory battles, you're going to be doing the Malik event if they keep the same cadence.
Yeah, exactly. So what I was thinking here is that for that particular event, you needed each of your characters to be at 17,500. Now, this territory battle has been scaled down by 1,000. And that's probably because you've got certain characters like Geo Spy, who only has 3 particular sorts of abilities, and that's all he's really got. Geo Soldier has 3 abilities as well. Sun Fac actually has 4. We've got Poggle the Lesser, who has 4 as well. But these other ones...
But one's a leader.
That's right.
One's a leader for Poggle.
That's right, yes. And but of those, though, like when you look at your Geos and you actually start looking at your, the Geos themselves, a lot of them are only at, they've only got 3 levels of abilities, which means you're going to have to pick those characters up and get them to the Gear 12 so that you'll be even able to compete with those characters inside of this. Grande?
And, this... Well, hang on, because remember how much this pissed me off.
Yeah.
When Malik came around, because of the, I'm okay with a GP gate, but a GP gate that high and not allowing people to even attempt at a lower thing if they have great mods. and they put them on them. I mean, that's where I have a problem. I'm not going to dictate to them exactly what to do. I have no right or authority as far as as a player of the game, but I have a right and authority and privilege of being somebody who every once in a while puts some money into this. And as I've said, I will not fall for the 1,400 cost of a purple piece. I'm okay with the 700 or 750 for a gold piece for a little bit of the eyeballs. I'm fine with that, but I will not go for a damn stun gun at 1,400. Sorry, Grande, your go.
So, I think that the reason for the GP gate, which that's really what it is, right? It's another barrier to entry. You have to have this high GP in order to click the button. And I really think the reason for this is because they understand that there's, 90 to 100,000 of us daily players. That's a lot of brain power. Someone is going to figure out a way to kind of have an unexpected outcome where they use a very low geared character and they play the abilities in a certain way and they beat the event. And that's really not what they intended. I understand. I could see both sides of this, right? I see the side of the player saying, let me try, even if I fail. I could see the side of the dev saying, we don't want to come in on a Saturday or a Sunday or spend 3 weeks worth of man hour time reworking PvE content because somebody found a way where you take a level 70 gear 1 level 1 nuke gunray in with 5 other characters and you win and other people can't because they don't have that low geared character.
Yeah, I agree with you, but having said that, what really, really, really annoys me is that with the Darth Malik event, for example, let's use that as an example. I think that this is the perfect thing to do. With that particular event, I had my characters at 17.5. I actually had them well over that. And on the light side part, I didn't even get Darth Malik. I didn't get him. I just didn't get the DPS to get through it. Having said that, I had the strategy down and Paul's seen it. And, I just worry that we're going to be in that similar situation, in that similar battle with the territory battle. Once again, hey, you might have the right gear, you might be up there, you might be ready to go, but if you don't have this mod or you don't have this particular character zated, game, set, and match. See you later. See you next time. That's what you need to work on. What do you think, Grande?
I think you're absolutely right. Just because you meet the minimum requirements does not mean that you're able to beat the content. We've seen that with Malik. We've seen that with other, with other game aspects as well. So absolutely, I think this is new content. Most people are not used to a TB where you're going to have to remod. I think for the special missions, you're potentially talking about, we've already said it's mostly going to be Gear 11 with a bunch of Gear 12s, which means potentially you're going to have to do mod swaps of your best mods onto those characters before you do the special missions, mod swap again before you do the combat missions. This is in-game content, and my guess is they plan on it lasting for 14 to 18 months, which means we are low geared now compared to where we will be in 6, 8, 9, 10, 12 months. If that's the case, you're going to have to put your best foot forward in order to even have a shot, and you could still end up not being successful on those special missions or on those combat missions, even with your best stuff. And we're really going to have to train some of our guild members. Most people are not used to moving mods for PvE content. They are a little bit for raids. They are for PvP when it comes to the arenas, but most people have not gotten in the habit of moving mods for a TB in a very, very, very long time.
That's true.
Now, you talk about somebody putting their best foot forward. For some people, in some of our guilds, I have a better place to put my foot. But that's just me.
Oh, that's very true. That's very true. Well, speaking of which, and something that might possibly help you get through this Dark Side Geonosis territory battle, particularly on one face so that you can get maximum stars, is the fact that there's a General Grievous rework once again, and Magnagard is getting himself a rework as well. Now, before we get into the actual changes for these characters, guys, and the fact that we're going to be seeing yet another rework for Grievous, I've actually got... Look, I hate focusing on the negatives. I really do. But look, there's one thing that I wanted to just shout out there, and I was hoping that I'd get this first before another rework for General Grievous, and that is, I was kind of hoping to see Savage, Darth Maul, and also Darth Sidious get themselves that, some form of Separatist tag or whatever, just so that we can actually see these guys have some viability in the territory battles. That's what I was keen for, guys. What did you think?
Well, I totally agree with you, right? Separatist faction needs to probably look more like the Empire faction, needs to look more like the Rebel faction. Let's bring more people into that faction. Absolutely, Savage needs to be in there. Absolutely, Maul could be in there. Sidious could be in there. All kinds. I'm also looking forward to, we kind of touched on it earlier, Geonosian Soldier, Geonosian Spy, and Poggle potentially ending up with another quote-unquote molt, right?
Yeah. Before
we have this new TB. Their kits are really old. On two of those characters, on Poggle and on Geospy, on Geo Soldier, they were release type launch characters. They haven't been reworked, and they definitely need to rework when you look at a Brood Alpha coming along with them. So giving us more options, and I think this might be where that Jango Fett kind of keys in, right?
Yeah.
If Jango Fett and Sidious and all these other characters that were kind of tertiary to the Geonosian battle, they weren't quite there, or they were just part of the Separatists kind of on the side. I think they need to be in it. It needs kind of an overall global rework similar to what happened with Bounty Hunters and some other factions.
Well, having said that, if we're allowed to use Jedi Knight Revan and Darth Revan in the Hoth territory battles, come on.
Again, those are, that's a difference between combat missions and special missions, right? There's kind of a distinction there. But we're probably going to have a Separatist special mission. We're probably going to have a Geo special mission. So, having more options available to the player and getting some reworks on some much older tunes, I think would make perfect sense for this.
Okay.
And I'm still waiting to find out where we're getting this Brood Alpha. Is it Marquis? Is it Chase? Just give me the info already. Who knows? By the way, I'm just going to put this out there. This show is being recorded in the wee hours of today because of a scheduling conflict. I hope you understand if all of a sudden this sounds dated, but that's okay. But this does come back. I'm gonna cycle back for just a second on that GP gating. Remember that not everything in the game is for you. If you're a new player, this is not for you. There's a whole show that we did about small accounts. Go listen to that one, and that's okay. We try to cover everything, not just this perspective from the big guys, but also the tiny little fish.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Here.
But as I mentioned, I want to find out how I get the Geonosian Brood Alpha for this special mission because of the Wat Tambor kit that just looks absolutely sick.
Yeah.
What? I'm going to pose this to you first, Grande, and then Scotty, over to you on that. What were your first impressions when you got to see the first dark side non-combatant character?
I really like Wat Tambor. I also like the Brood Alpha. Again, if we're trying to like slice this Separatist factions into teams, we've now got a Geo team we can slice out of there. We now have a Droid team we can slice out of there, and it kind of leaves Nute Gunray, Asajj Ventress, Dooku, and this Wat Tambor kind of out on their own, missing at least one more key piece, right? And that key piece could be Jango Fett. That key piece could be something else. Definitely seeing those characters, with the Wat Tambor, I think makes perfect sense. Could you sub in Wat onto a Grievous team? Absolutely. Could you sub him in on some kind of a Geo team? Sure. But it sure feels like that team makes more sense kind of as this third team that kind of comes together probably in the next couple of weeks. I
agree with that. When I first saw Wat Tambor, I was like, oh man, just imagine him teamed up with General Grievous. This is going to be insane craziness. Like he's just going to just continue to recover that health and protection, and recovering all that protection as well, and gaining turn meter, which I just think is just like insane. I thought, wow, imagine him with General Grievous. But then we had the rework of General Grievous, which got announced, and then I thought, well, I've got to start putting my theory crafting hat on here, which we'll cover in a moment, the rework of Grievous. And, and it got me thinking as well. Yeah, you're 100% right, Grande. I was thinking that, he is the second team. Absolutely. He's got to be in with Gunray, Dooku. He's got to be in with those guys somewhere. And, Dooku and Gunray and Wat Tambor are the three I'm looking at running. I want to keep my Geos all together, and that's with the Brood Alpha. But I'm looking at Wat Tambor, Nute Gunray, Count Dooku, because especially when you look at Nute Gunray, look at this guy, Wat Tambor. The guy, I didn't really want to go through fully into his kit, but there is one thing that I do want to mention, and that is that he's actually dishing out tech. And he's going to be throwing out all this tech at all these guys. Now, if you go back through, the actual Nute Gunray kit, I just think this is going to be a dangerous team in territory battles, territory wars, you name it. They're all going to be in there at some point. And if you look at Nute Gunray, he's throwing out debuffs left, right, and center, and he's going to actually make you pay out as well. So, wow. I just think that this is just awesome. And the extortion, of course, was the ability I was looking for. And, imagine extortion getting thrown out there and then tech as well. Oh, man. Look out.
And I'm telling you, you got two really great damage dealers in Asajj and Dooku at this point, right?
Yeah.
So it would make sense that we're sort of starting to see this team kind of congeal a little bit.
It just needs a tank. And you're right.
It does.
Yeah, and then you're sweet.
Need a tank.
Yeah, and then you're sweet. And, man, you're away. I just looked at this team and I just thought, wow, that's the team I want to do. You've got your Geos, that's sorted. And you're right, Grande, third team. That's it. Keep Grievous with his droids and go the Dooku. Paul, what did you think of that, man? Obviously, that was my intentions on the whole thing. What did you think?
Well, with the protection and healing and all that, mixed with the Brood Alpha's equalization.
Ah, yeah.
Barris-esque, if you will. Holy crap. There is the answer to what I was saying last week. This not being with the Geos, with Brood Alpha not being one of your offensive teams because you're losing protection when you equalize and somebody's down. If Wat Tambor is healing it back up, there's your points that you get back in Grand Arena.
True.
Interesting. So that possibly means Poggle's on the bench, though, right?
Poggle or Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. I'm going to call Wat Taylor Tinker Tailor, and then it's either Soldier or Spy.
Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. I like that. I really do. Look, I was actually thinking about it, and I was thinking that, maybe this is where, because we know that they're looking at bringing in Hondo Anaka. Maybe this is where he fits, perhaps. Who knows?
That would be amazing.
Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, that's something.
But
I was
is he
thinking.
a tank?
Well,
But is he that tank you're looking for?
well, maybe or pre-Vizsla, one of the two. I've just got a funny feeling that could be where it's at. But who knows? Who knows where it's going to go? But I mean,
I think Hondo's getting an entire Pirates faction.
Oh, he's got to. Yeah,
I do too.
He better.
Yeah.
The whole weak
I'm
Quay
surprised
army.
it's not here. I'm surprised it's not here yet. Actually,
yeah.
I mean, this would be a perfect time.
So's every single person that's ever been on this show, I think.
Yeah. What about giving the tank role to Tom Kane? Just bring Tom Kane into the game, who's the narrator of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and he can sit there and go, "Tonight on the Clone Wars battle." Why don't we just bring him into it, and he can just be the fifth Separatist? Why not?
Here we go. War has broken out.
But look, moving on, and I wanted to get into the General Grievous rework here, and look, that he is getting a rework. I'm not going to fully dive into it, but I just wanted to say that basically he's going to be the Jedi killer that everyone's wanted. It's finally going to happen, and he's going to start basically. People will no longer be able to evade any of his attacks. The target locked enemies can't counter. And with Magna Guard, all of the Separatist droid allies are going to be stealthing. So that gets rid of the entire, focus force from Jedi Knight Revan. When you just go and focus on Grievous, that's the end of it. Problematic. But if you focus now, you've got to focus on Magna Guard, and he's going to start tanking. He's going to start taunting. He's going to be a taunting tank finally. So basically, Grievous and Magna Guard are now have now turned. Well, I think I wouldn't say meta, but they'll certainly be taking. They'll take that second spot in the meta, though. Maybe even third spot behind Padme. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, remember this, and I've said this since day one. We are going to get the meta that not that the whales want, but the one that the whales deserve. It's going to be diversified, and that is fine. It's already being diversified by a lot of the attention being paid to Grand Arena Championships. Because not only can you go, I've got this one beefy team, it's like that little bully in school that stands behind the muscle. Okay, now I could get to your ass.
Yeah, I agree. And look, it's actually the Purgle that you're referring to. They're no longer called whales. For those of you that are fans of Rebels, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's the Purgle, isn't it?
Can you tell that Scotty recently watched the finale of Rebels?
No,
I guess so.
No. I watched that like 2 years ago.
It finally made it to Australia. I
It
guess,
did,
so
man.
we're good.
Yeah, it finally did. It finally managed to get to us via a secret transmission. It managed to get it in and smuggle it into the escape pod.
Cast.
Paul, yep, indeed. Paul, talk us through the rewards, man, for each guild, because the stars are going to mean that you get rewards. You're going to start seeing crystals. You're going to start seeing crazy cool things coming your way.
Well, they're saying that guilds that are easily completing the Dark Side Hoth territory battle are projected to earn 20 to 24 stars. This is coming from Crumb's post on Word of Warning, in case you're wondering about which bold one that it was, Grande.
That's the bolded one. That is correct.
Now, okay, let's go. Let's look at their little spreadsheet, because you know that I love my spreadsheets. 24 stars gives you 5,600 MK1, which, if I'm correct, 6,000 8,000 is what you would get in MK1 for maxing your stars. And then MK2 guild event tokens, you would get just about the same thing this time, but you get a little bit more, 5,850.
Yeah.
And also 600 crystals, which right there, that's one roll at one of those marquee packs if you don't buy the big ones, which you should. And also, it's a mystery box.
No. I mean, can I just jump in here and clarify? Like, if you've got a problem with gambling or things like that, in all honesty, in real life, if you've got a problem with gambling, probably not the best thing to be buying those.
Well, but this one's free for you. If
yeah,
you
well,
want
that's
it.
true. Yes, this is true.
Yeah,
Okay,
600
continue.
crystals gets you the free one.
Yes, continue.
You know,
I'm not
everybody
telling-
everybody listening to the podcast will have to have me make a shameless plug for myself. I have
Go ahead.
never pulled any of those packs, and I have the second most hard nodes in the game. According to swgoh.gg, if you really want to get good at this game, do hard nodes and do extra hard nodes with those crystals. Do not buy the packs.
Yep, I'm with you.
I mean, the packs are for patience. Packs equal impatience.
Yes.
Yeah, I might top
And
up.
damn it,
my characters.
we're both impatient, aren't we, Scotty?
Oh well, I'm more impatient on gear. I'll buy the gear, but it's the shards. Yeah, it depends. Okay, I've got everyone at gear, at 7-star except for Treya and also Darth Malik because I don't have Darth Malik, but I do have everyone else at 7-star. But that's not from buying like a lot of the packs. Initially, I did, but no, not now. I'll farm my characters through the hard nodes, which is what I do. That's how I do it. Or I grab those 25, crystal shards for like 1,400. I'll grab those when they come out, but that's about it. I don't go into the packs.
Right. Well, back to the tokens and rewards and stuff like that. It scales up. You get at 12 stars, which is half of the projected one. At 12 stars, you get more MK1 than MK2. At 24 is when you get. I'm thinking it's going to be 23, where you're going to get 550 of each. 500 of each. So if these numbers hold true across the board, a maximum of 6,650. That's what is that, Grande? Is that 2 or 3 Malik purchases in the guild event tokens?
I think
that'd be 3.
I think it's 3. Is it of the 15s? It might even be 2 of the. I think it's 2 of the 15s. So I think it's 30 shard.
So you can still get your Malik if you're running.
Yeah, no, I gotta tell you, I would be highly surprised if anyone got 33 stars on the first go around.
Yeah, because
it's not going to happen.
They're saying that 48 stars. This means the top guilds, point number 3. I read the things in parentheses. You read italics, I read parentheses because parentheses are always clarifications. With top guilds, it's how the heck if they're saying 24 and the top goal is 33. I want to see how mighty Chlorians or mighty wallets or whatever they're called now. I want to see how they do. I'm very intrigued, but I'm also scared.
Yeah,
I think point 3 is basically directed at the top 3 guilds in the game, and that's really the bottom line.
Yeah,
I wouldn't expect anybody else but the top 3 to even be contemplating, being at that high of a level. Everybody else is going to be somewhere between there and the 10, right?
Yeah,
or the 1. Yeah, if you're at 80 million GP guild.
Yeah.
Again, right? It's new content. If you can click the button to enter, I would click the button to enter. Everyone else is going to click it. At least you get a chance to say you did it.
Yeah.
At least you get the chance to see what the new stuff is. Who knows? You might surprise yourself. Who knows? You might also know, hey, this is what, guys, let's not try it again until we work on these other things. Either way, I don't think it really hurts a player or a guild that if they can click it to at least try. And I think even CG does say that at the bottom, right? They're basically saying, they're basically saying that, if you think you could do about roughly half of it, right, that it's better for you to go for that than receiving all of the Hoth rewards. So you know what? Give it a shot. I think everybody should give it a shot. So you lose out on some Malik shards maybe, but everybody else is losing out on those same Malik shards too. You're not necessarily going to be down versus anyone else for the first go around.
100%. And there won't be any guilds that are going to be doing the 100% full damage on this one. I can guarantee that. Well, look, we've got to get to a break, but coming up in just a moment, this is my favorite part. We're going to be talking about Grand Arena, the championships, and all the information that's been divulged this week. That's still to come on the Escape Pod Cast.
Hi, this is Cyphermaster SB Crumb, and you're listening to the Escape Pod Cast. This show was recorded in front of a live studio audience.
Micaeus Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Micaeus will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there. Micaeus has a 100% satisfaction guarantee and lots of useful additional services, including a full cleanup of your mods, loadout pages, PvP plans and more. Contact Micaeus today on Discord at all lowercase Micaeus number 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127, or at micaeusmods@gmail.com. Micaeus Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Pod Cast.
Like what you hear on the Escape Pod Cast? Want to support Scotty and Paul? Then sign up to be a Patreon. For as low as $2 a month, you can help them launch Escape Pods for months to come. Visit patreon.com/theescapepod to sign up. Support us today.
And now time for something completely shameless.
This is your favorite YouTuber's favorite Greek-American Swuggo YouTuber from the greater New York City area, whose name has 8 letters, beginning with an H and ending with an X. Wanna guess who, TC14? Come on, guess.
Horsebox.
Try again.
Homeobox.
Seriously?
Horspex.
You know what? Just forget it. I was trying to get you to say Hellenix, you dumb droid. Anyway, welcome back to the Escape Pod Cast with your hosts, Paul Anthony and Scotty McLaren. Take it away, boys. I have a droid to disassemble.
Oh dear.
The Escape Pod Cast, the round holotable.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Escape Pod Cast with Scotty, Paul, and your guest host, GrandePatron. That's me. We're going to talk about Grand Arena Championships this time. Scotty and Paul, we even got a post on the forums called error in exhibition. What do you guys think about the error in exhibition?
Well, I'm glad you managed to spit that out right, man. But it is, the exhibition is working as intended, or is it, guys? Is it?
I want to explain. You were confused by this title. The exhibition is working as intended. This is their public beta testing of Grand Arena Championships, which they blatantly said they are doing. So they've discovered a small issue, and they're going to attempt a fix this evening. The only expected impact is a change to the round counter, which we might only get 2 rounds instead of 3, maybe. And they'll have to do a loud release. Now, of course, remember, we're recording this in the wee hours of Friday morning U.S. time, so they've already probably released this fix, and who knows, maybe Grand Arena is canceled before territory battles, and we'll see.
Man.
We could have egg on our face right now, but you know what? We're going to talk about it as they intended it and get our impressions on all of this. Now, one of the big things that came of this, before we get into the actual Grand Arena Championships itself, is the anti-cheating post that they talked about.
That's
the anti-cheating and competitive integrity. I'm just going to, remember, I read the things that are in parentheses right away. Mm-hmm. So the default action will be a permaban for any account found with cheated or hacked data. Right there. Hacked data right away, permaban. I'm all for that.
Yeah, me too. 100%.
I think it's, the proof's in the pudding, right? Let's see how it works out. Sounds good on paper. Let's go.
I agree. There's also, look, they're going to actually try and detect people. There's going to be new data points. There's going to be more surveillance on the leaderboard and the battle data as well. And yeah, basically, if you've been, look, to cut a long story short, if you're someone that goes into the Grand Arena and you say to yourself, yeah, you know what, I'm going to switch these mods over onto this character so I can take that person down, and I'm going to do those mods and I'm going to change all my mods around and all that sort of stuff. No longer can you do that. And I am very, very, very pleased that that's actually happened. Shout out to Darth Micro for that.
I absolutely. Darth Micro did a great job on that one video he did. I want people to win fair and square. So the intent of this post, I 100% support.
Yeah, they have a new suite of data points and detection tools. And while they'll put player reports to good use, they are saying that they have some new options at their disposal for finding illegitimate battles. Probably, and remember, in the parentheses again, possibly even before you've had a chance to report them. If you're going in with a team that is Coruscant Underworld Police solo against Jedi Knight Revan, you shouldn't be winning.
No.
Agreed.
No, I agree. I agree with that. And you know what? I'm glad that this came out. I'm glad that, that it did get called out the way it did, and things have actually happened on this. And the cheating is gone. And that's sensational. That's a great result for everybody, and that means that we can actually play this game the way that we should, in the way it's intended, as opposed to worrying about the fact that you've put something on defense and then all of a sudden you get wiped out because someone's gone and changed their mods around. I mean, really? And those worst ones were the ones that actually didn't deploy defense. And basically what happened was that they didn't deploy their defense, and then they went in and their lesser characters would come in and take you out. I don't think a full clear should be even happening if you haven't set your defense. Not at all.
Yeah. But, onto some kind of happier stuff.
Yes.
Have you guys looked at the graphics of Grand Arena?
Oh,
I mean, there are so many buttons to push on this thing. That's the first thing. And I got to give a shout out to Macias. Macias actually showed me that there were some buttons on this that I didn't even know existed. And so he's like showing me things. We're kind of going through here, looking at the feats, looking at the overview, going to see how you can do things. And he goes, you can click on that big flashing circle in the middle, and it'll show you all the divisions. And then we started having a conversation about divisions. I think the graphics look amazing. I know some people are a little bit, they're a little bit concerned about where the divisions start and stop. Have you guys had a chance to look at that?
I have, yeah. I'm actually in Division 1. And I am absolutely, what they say in Australia, pooping my pants, just quietly.
So what's your GP right now?
I'm at 4.7 mil.
You're at 4.7. I'm in Division 1 as well. Do you know what my GP is?
5, 6.
5.3.
Oh, God. I'm done.
So can you imagine? You don't have Malik. I have Malik. How's that going to... I mean, I'll go easy on you. But, how easy can I go?
Well, that's it. That's it. And there lies the problem for me. That's where it's problematic for me. I mean, hopefully I get matched up against people that also don't have Malik. I can't see that happening. I'll end up going, I'll probably still be where I'm at. I mean, currently, if you look at my championship data at the moment, I'm currently sitting at rank 3,497. And when I come up against the people like Grande and things like that, that's probably where I'll stay.
Well, you have a higher rank than me now somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sitting at 44,153 in Division 2.
You're doing better than me. I'm sitting at almost 9,000 in my rank currently.
No. I'm at 44,000. thousand.
Oh no! Sorry, I misheard you.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so, I'm currently in there at the moment, but, I am enjoying this. You go through the Carbonite and it shows you what you get. When you get to Kyber, which I don't think I will, not in this level, but...
No, you'll get to Kyber as you do your feats, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how you rank up in this. It's not, it's not a pecker wagging contest here.
No, true.
It's how well you do with feats.
Yeah.
Well, it's not only feats, right? So you do, again, I think some of this is mildly confusing in the beginning, right? You do need to look at what the feats are, but you also get points for actually just how much completion do you do on your grand arenas. So I do think that there's going to be some again, it's rewarding participation. You know how Scotty talked earlier about how he had people who didn't set defense and he felt like that they were rewarded for not setting a defense. You get points just for setting defense.
Yeah,
right?
Which I like.
So the way this works is, just for kind of going through and doing what you normally did in Grand Arena will get you points, and you'll rank up and rank up. I mean, it looks like, potentially, one or two rounds, not even finished with the first week of, the first 3 rounds of Grand Arena, you may already be out of the current of this lowest rank that we're in, the Carbonite rank, and it might already be in Bronzium. So I do feel like that. Just players kind of going through their normal actions, doing what they normally do every day. I mean, even in the feats that we were talking about it earlier, a little bit before we started the podcast. But you get points for doing 15 battles, but you have 6 days to do them.
Yeah.
Well, we get 5 free battles a day. So in 3 days, you could just run your normal battles and you'll already have completed some of the feats. So I do feel like, cursorily on the surface, this looks like a really good system. And I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, here's the thing. Here's something that I love. Yeah, you're 100% right. So one of them that I wanted to touch on is Fleet Commander. Win 15 Fleet Arena battles. Now, that's not saying you have to do it in Grand Arena. That's saying that you can do it anywhere. And I've already
in Fleet Arena, yeah.
Well, that's right, yeah. And I've already completed 3 of 15 of that already because I was climbing the meta as we were discussing this. So, I think that that's awesome. That's a good thing. Winning 5 Grand Arena battles with an undersized party. Yeah, we know all about that one. Win a Grand Arena battle with an undersized party. Win 8 Grand Arena battles on your first attempt. Yeah, that's going to be an easy one. You could probably do that one quite easily. Basically, completely clearing 10 Grand Arena territories. Now, that's where I think the lower GP guys could come unstuck, guys. That's where they might get unstuck, but that's where they'll need to get better.
Well, remember that they're being paired up against other smaller guilds, so they're only going to have to defeat 1 or 2.
True.
Go watch our friend Nev, do his Grand Arena and see how quickly he can progress through it. So I'm not worried about whether or not that they can get there. I think they have a better shot at climbing in the leagues, which speeds up lower end progression versus top end progression, which that's what people remember. Catch up mechanics. How can they catch up? It's by them actually participating. People that are sitting on their butt just logging in to get their refreshes every day, like I did for 3 months, and not doing anything in the damn game, you don't deserve to catch up. People who are playing do.
Yeah, good point.
Some of these divisions, I'm sure they spent a lot of time on how they broke up some of these divisions, but you've got like 2K difference between 2K GP at the low end on some of these divisions. So, some 3Ks, some more 2Ks again and 3Ks. They're definitely giving an advantage to the starting players, right? In this divisions 6 through 11. It really comes in when you get into, Division 5 and Division 6, where it really starts, Division 5 through 1 is where you start seeing the larger jumps in GP. And that's really, and when you think about it, that's really when the player has got a more established roster, which sort of starts to make some sense to me. Maybe, a new player starting with all the resources they're getting, they'll be able to do really well at these low ones. So, if I was a newer player, I would really be kind of excited about this. I think that the thing is that I think we need to talk about more is, and what I've heard some rumblings about is people who are a little bit discouraged that are kind of in Scotty's place, in the Division 1 or Division 2, and maybe don't have some of the key characters that they wish they had.
Yeah, that's where I feel, because, okay, look, I have inflated my GP due to territory battles, and I ain't going to be deflating it because of territory battles. We've got one coming up very, very soon. I need that GP for Yavin so that we can continue to rise up the rankings, so we can get those stars. So unless this territory battle is completely different, you don't need your GP, well, I ain't going to be tanking on it. And I know certain people do tank on it and, remove mods off their characters that they don't even use and things like that. Well, I'm not someone that does that. I want to play the game properly. And, look, one day those characters might need those mods and we can play the game, So, yeah, I guess you could say I'm kind of in mobile gamers' shoes in this one.
Well, but also, too, I don't know if you've noticed, but their matchmaking algorithm, in my opinion, got much better over the last two Grand Arenas than it was previously. It felt like I was tiered against people that, yes, if I really pushed hard, I could beat them, but I wasn't paired against people who I could either beat handily or who could beat me handily. It felt like we were better matched up. The same is true in TW. I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but I know we have in the 20 guilds that we run in Dark Lords, is that we, the guilds are matched up much more competitively against a guild that's similar to them, whereas before it was either we were going to get obliterated or we were going to obliterate them. It didn't seem like there was this middle ground area where we're like, man, we got to be organized. Everybody needs to be on. We need to do what we're supposed to do if we really want to win this one. But how it's been the last couple of times. It seems awesome. I love that aspect.
So do I, man. But, there goes that whole meme then, of like, I have the high ground.
Absolutely.
Well, every once in a while we'll, we require in our guild for you to only join if you can field your 4 teams and a fleet. And if you can't do that, then you need to sit out. And there have been times where we do end up getting the high ground. I apologize to anybody that's run into us that, some of our bigger players had to were ending up sitting out because they were on vacation or something. Sorry that we had the high ground. That's really all I could say, right, Scott?
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, well, I'm not. Hey, for the first time ever, for the first time ever in the last territory war, man, I managed to pull 259 banners on my own, and I was stoked about that. I was so happy.
Well, that's because you fought every single Phoenix team that you could.
No, it's not the Phoenix teams. I actually fought every single first order team that I could. That's how it worked. It's not the Phoenix teams. Yes.
You were like, ooh, Jawas. And then you sent in Darth Revan.
We didn't have those. We had Ewoks, but...
Guys, hurry quick. It's B4 and it's all Jawas. Go. And someone's like, why was the zone cleared in 10 minutes? Oh, sorry, you missed it.
Well, that tends to happen when
why didn't you get your banners, Grande? Why don't you have 150 banners? After
the kids had to go to school at some point. We cleared that between 8 and 8:15. Guess where I was, sitting in the line at an elementary school.
Well, guys, I want to talk about the rewards now, and this is where we get those Gear 13 pieces. And Gear 13 is coming our way, and Gear 13 is going to. Look, I love what the developers have done with this. It's going to be, look, we'll get into the negative in a moment, but on the plus side, it means that Darth Maul and General Grievous are going to be absolutely amazing when you give them that Gear 13 piece. They're just going to continue to go up and up and up, and every single character is now getting themselves, all different and unique buffs when you take that character to Gear 13, i.e. Rex is another one that's perfect for that. But, one of the things I did want to throw out there, though, is in relation to Gear 13, and it's the pieces that you need to get to Gear 13. It is disgusting. 2 of those cryotechs. 2! No.
Yeah.
I mean, you bought them for your Darth Revan, didn't you?
I did for Padme, yeah.
And you bought them for Padme.
Yeah.
If you want Gear 13 that bad this quick, because you can get the little vape pen that Rose holds. Yeah. Remember, you love Rose. But
yes.
you can get your Cryotech vape pens from the Guild Event store and the Grand Arena store. So, I've said it before. Quit your bitching.
Yeah, I know, but there's just too many of those, too many that need to be done. What do you think, Grande? What do you think, Grande?
Go ahead, Grande.
I know everybody is kind of thinking of this Cryotech, right? That's the piece that they're looking at, and I understand that, but I kind of dove a little bit deeper into it. Two of the different pieces require only gear that you can get from a Rancor, and we have 3 pieces from the Rancor, and that they only went with the droid color. The other thing that surprises me that 2 out of 3 pieces use that particular Rancor piece. Also, going into it a little bit further is, one of them requires pieces from that you can only either buy or get from the Sith Raid. So I think what's going to happen potentially is, everybody farms the piece that you need, the special piece that you can only get for the special Gear 13 piece. They buy potentially the Cryotech, and they're sitting here kind of upset about either the Rancor piece or the AAT piece or the Sith Raid piece, and that piece not dropping for them. So it's kind of like triple gated on this piece. The other thing that I see is, I don't know if you guys have gone through every character, but there are some real winners in this last G12 finisher piece, and then there are some characters that are some real losers on this piece. They really have a very poor set of stats for this piece. The other thing that kind of got me concerned was it's going to take a lot of gear, it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of patience to do this. I'm a little concerned. Why did we not get, when we hit this craft button and we hit this equip button, I would really be surprised, and I really hope that they put in an "Are you sure?" button like they did with the Zetas, because I would hate for someone to spend all of this time accumulating all this stuff and then accidentally putting it on Vandor Chewbacca.
Well, when they hit the craft button, it'll get consumed. So I actually like that idea, and we have Crumb coming up in on the other side of a break here momentarily. But that being said, too bad we're not talking to him more live than we are recorded right now.
True.
But, I would love to have posed that question to him or have you throw that at him. But I know that they do listen to this show and give us feedback on it. So take, CG, this is the part to cut and show to the other team members. Listen to Grande. How often has Finn and Ranger said that?
Oh man, they I'm telling you, they're like my brothers. Finn and Ranger J 1999 on RSG. We're like family. They give me a lot of flack, and then they turn around and say, "Yeah, but he knows what he's talking about." They say it more times than you think. It's so funny.
Yeah, it is, man. It is. And hey, look, make sure you guys like and subscribe to Reality Skewed Gamers as well. Get over there. Go and check them out. They are sensational. I love the guys at RSG. They are brilliant. But Paul, look, we're going to be talking to him in just a moment. And just so that you guys know, I do have to stress this, that we did speak to him earlier in the week, didn't we, Paul? Much earlier.
Yes, we did. We recorded with Crumb on Sunday, and there are some things that he's like, it should be out by then. Yeah, everything that he said should be out, I believe, is out.
Yeah.
Before we start playing this back. So remember to, there's a lot of people who detract saying, oh, we already heard this. But this coming up discussion with Crumb is not necessarily entirely game-based. You're about to learn about the man behind the avatar, as well as the great efforts. You guys have stepped up huge for my GoFundMe, for my wife's cancer bills. wait until you hear this next interview and what CG is doing this weekend. And with their Giving Day coming up here in a moment, and you're going to find out, a lot about what brings a community together, because we're here for the community. You're going to see that so is CG, and you're going to learn some stuff about Crumb, and even, Scotty, even some puzzles.
Yes, that's all on the other side of the Nev, who's coming up in just a moment, and it's all still to come right here on the Escape Podcast with our very special guest, Grande.
Hey guys, it's the Nev here. If you want to hear more content from me, please come over to my channel. It's Nev. Simple as that. But if you're looking for me and you need to type something in the search, best put in my full name. It's Neil Andrew Eyre. You can also follow me on Twitter at PomPomtastic1, and you can find me on Discord, Nev, #9515. Hope to hear from you soon. Come on over, give me a like and a subscribe.
Hey there, Escape Padawans. Everyone's favorite llama here to remind you that the Escape Podcast is on social media. That's right, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. So give us a like, give us a follow, and stay up to date on all things in-game and in the Escape Pod. Our account links are down in the description or on our Discord server in the Show Links channel. See you on the net.
Ladies and gentlemen, over the past 3 months, you've heard Scotty and I ask you for help with the GoFundMe to help cover my wife's medical expenses. Now, we all know Christy was diagnosed with follicular lymphoma last year in November. This is the final week of the general call to action. We may do a third phase in the future, but for now, let's get this to $15K this week. GoFundMe.com/Mrs. Anthony is where you should go to donate. Help out if you can. Let's take care of Mrs. Anthony's deductibles and help make a difference today.
Hey everyone, it is the heartthrob of the Outer Rim, your boy Urs, and you are listening to the Escape Podcast with Paul Anthony and Scotty McLaren. Boys, I think I speak for all of us when I say you are hot, you are red hot.
The Escape Podcast for kids. It's really cool.
Hello there, boys and girls, and welcome to the Escape Podcast for kids with me, the Nev. Today we're going to talk about mods. It's not an exaggeration when I say mods are extremely important in this game. If your team doesn't have mods, then there's a good chance you're going to get defeated. Well, let's be honest, if you have bad mods, there's a good chance you're going to be defeated. Your progression in this game will become more and more dependent on the good mods assigned to your best squads. First things first though, have you reached level 50 yet? No? Then you're just an innocent babe in the woods without a care in the world. You can't unlock mods yet. Trust me when I say you should enjoy these fleeting moments where you don't have a care in the world about mods. It's like being young and free. No job and no kids. Then BAM! You hit level 50 and the party's over. You get hit with mods and you get hit hard. Sure, they're only 1 and 2 dot mods to begin with. It's like your first day at a new job. You're not quite sure what you're doing, but you figure you'll wing it to begin with. Your first few early day mods are the same. They're not very good, but since you have them, you should use them. A mod has 5 tiers, 6 grades, and 15 levels. In the beginning, you're only going to get tier 1 and 2 mods. They have what are commonly known as dots on them. You would upgrade them to level 15 for a few credits, which I would definitely recommend, but you can't move up the grades. For that you need tier 5 mods and slicing material, but we'll get to that later. So, the mod battles have opened up for you after you pass level 50, and now you're working your way through the mod battles. Don't forget to level up your characters to level 50 though, as only level 50 characters can have mods. You will soon discover that there are many different types of mods and that they all conveniently fit into nice sets. Some sets need 2 and other sets need 4. In the beginning, my advice would be to just go for the health sets. You want your squad surviving the foray into battle, and health sets are an easy way for you to figure out the stats that are available to you. The mod sets and types are as follows: health, defense, critical damage, critical chance, tenacity, potency, and speed. And the mods come in 6 forms: a square, a diamond, a circle, an arrow, a triangle, and a cross. As you go through the stages of mod battles, each of these mod sets will become available with the health sets being the first. The shape of the mod awarded is kind of random, but you will find that the square, diamond, and circle drop more than any other mod. It's really annoying, but there's little you can do about it. Each mod gets a primary stat and then several secondary stats. When you first start out, you'll get lots of health mods, so stick to these until you get a handle on what mods are best for each character you have. But don't worry, there's a handy feature in the character menu that will tell you what the best mods for each character are. I wouldn't worry about that too much just yet though. When you start getting tier 5 mods, then you want to worry about this. With each stage completion in mod battles, you unlock the corresponding mod challenge, and this is where you get tier 3, 4, and 5 mods. Health ones are easy to unlock at tier 5, which is why I initially suggest you go for health mod sets. The stat that you're chasing at the start of your mod collection though is speed. Speed is everything. Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is after all a turn-based game, so you want as much speed as possible. You want the sets of mods with a secondary speed on each mod. If you're really lucky, you might get an arrow with speed as a primary stat. Also, don't worry about the number of mods you'll get. One thing about this game is you'll get lots of mods. They might not be useful, but you'll get lots of them nonetheless. You want to be putting mods on every character you have that is level 50 or over. Once you achieve this, you will go back over time and replace each low tier mod with a higher tier mod. It takes time, but by the time you reach level 65, you should be well on your way to some useful sets of tier 5 mods, and the best ones should always be on your arena team. Now, let's talk about upgrading your tier 5 mods. Each mod is graded with a colour, and you can upgrade mods to move through the colours and give you better stats. Unfortunately, you can only upgrade mods that are 5-dot tier 5 mods. So once you start filling your inventory with these mods, best to sell all your lower tier mods because trust me, you're gonna need the space. Upgrading mods is slow, laborious, frustrating, annoying, time consuming, depressing, angering, painstaking, a pain in the ass, not fun, but most important of all, it's 100% necessary. If you want those speed stats on your mods to increase, you must upgrade the mods with slicing materials that you can get from literally everywhere in the game. You can farm them specifically from stage 9 of mod battles, but they are available in a lot of shipment stores and they are often handed out as rewards during events and quests. If you want that 5 speed secondary to become a 20 to 25 speed secondary each time you upgrade from grey to green to blue to purple to gold, then you farm slicing materials hard, dude. Ultimately, you want to collect slicing materials so you can roll your best mod stats so that you can have your teams win in the arena and other areas. I'm not joking when I say the difference between defeat and victory can be as little as 1. Yeah, you heard me right, 1. If your opponent has the same character as you, but theirs has 1 speed faster than yours, you can lose. So farm those mods if you don't want to feel like you wasted your time collecting a character so overpowered that the difference between victory and defeat is 1 stinking, lousy speed stat on a single mod. I digress. It's not all doom and gloom. Every now and then you'll roll a mod that has a 25 speed stat on it and it'll make you feel great. It's awesome. Even though you had to roll like 50 mods to find the Holy Grail. Anyway, mods. Yeah, they're great. That's all for me this week, boys and girls. Thanks for joining me for Storytime with the Nev on the Escape Pod, Cast for Kids.
This is Cubs fan Han, and you're listening to the Escape Podcast.
If you like what you hear on the Escape Podcast, sign up to become a Patreon today. Support Scotty and Paul for as low as $2 a month, and you can help them launch Escape Pods for months to come. Visit patreon.com/theescapepod to sign up. Support us today.
Hey there, Escape Padawans. Everyone's favorite llama here to remind you that the Escape Pod cast is on social media. That's right, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. So give us a like, give us a follow, and stay up to date on all things in-game and in the Escape Pod. Our account links are down in the description or on our Discord server in the Show Links channel. See you on the net.
Micaeus Modding Mayhem is the premier remodding service for the game that we all love, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. With some of the most affordable rates in the industry, Micaeus will rebuild your roster from top to bottom and give you consultation on where to go from there. Micaeus has a 100% satisfaction guarantee and lots of useful additional services, including a full cleanup of your mods, loadout pages, PvP plans, and more. Contact Micaeus today on Discord at all lowercase Micaeus number 0127. That's MIKAYAS number 0127, or at micaeusmods@gmail.com. Micaeus Modding Mayhem, the official remodding service of the Escape Pod cast. The Escape Pod cast with Scotty McLaren and Paul Anthony.
Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission. Receiving incoming transmission.
Yes, and welcome back to the Escape Podcast. And look, these guys over at Capital Games, they are going to be doing something really, really fun to try and help out kids. And look, to tell us a little bit more about it, with a 24-hour live stream, we've managed to get the man. We've managed to find him as well. He hangs out with Jabba the Hutt from time to time, but no, he's with us today, which is really cool. We're talking about Capital Games Crumb, or CG Crumb as he likes to call himself. Hello, sir. Welcome to the Escape Pod.
Hello, folks. How's it going?
Mate, it's great to talk to you, my friend. And look, man, you guys are going to be doing some really, really cool things very, very soon, especially with the charity, man. You guys are going to be out there to try and help out the kids this year.
Yeah, thanks for having us on, folks. I really appreciate it. We get a chance to talk about this because it's something that's really important to a bunch of people at Capital Games. Obviously, we did this last year. We're working with Extra Life, Children's Medical Network, and those dollars are going to support UC Davis Children's Hospital. So it's a really good cause. I'll talk about Extra Life if you don't know what that is, and Children's Medical Network in a moment. But in terms of where you can find us real quick, it's twitch.tv /Capital Games _Extra Life. We'll be there on Saturday, so it's tomorrow, I think, after this is going live. Basically from 10 a.m., 10 p.m., playing games all day, trying to raise donations for a really good cause. I think last year we were working towards with UC Davis Children's Hospital to build a children's surgery center, and so that was a really cool thing that we got to be a part of. And I know they're doing more great work with that this year. So tons of cool stuff to talk about, but it's going to be a really great time. I hope you guys are going to come out. Are you guys going to come show up?
I will absolutely. Of course we are. I will absolutely do my best. Scotty will probably stay up a little late for that one, but actually, that kind of that does give me a great question here. I looked on your website for what you've got coming up here. Now, for those who are on the East Coast, it starts at 1. For those on the West Coast, it starts at 10. For those in Australia, check your local listings. But
who knows what time that is? I'm not sure.
I believe that would be 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning for Scotty. But nonetheless, you start off with Mario Kart. Are you going to allow any fans or anything to jump in? Are you going to be connected to the internet with the Wii itself, or is this just a death match between CG?
I know that they will be probably posting up some rooms and letting people jump in. I'm not sure it was for Mario Kart, but I think for Smash, they're definitely going to let people come in because they got some pretty good experts in the office that I don't know. People are going to have a hard time giving them actually any run for their money because I've tried to play them myself and they are absolute beasts. So definitely come out and play with us, hang out, ask questions in the chat. We're going to have people from all parts of Capital Games artists, developers. I'm sure Carrie will be there. You can ask all sorts of questions as well. But of course, the main focus will be just having fun, raising money. And then also some crazy stunts, of course, like last year. I don't know if you guys tuned in last year at all. We managed to raise $10,000, which is super awesome. And then this year our goal is again $10K. But we had some pretty crazy stunts at the end there to manage to pull that off. So I don't know if we can top that this year. Did you guys see the ending, the last couple hours of that stream last year?
The guy standing on his head doing the Zelda glitch.
Yeah. While holding his breath. He had taped his mouth closed.
Breath? Oh my God.
From the start of the run, start to finish, he can hold his breath for about 5 minutes. The whole thing, he can do it in under I think 4:30 or so. And so he can do it. He tapes his face up. He starts doing the glitch and runs through the whole thing while holding his breath. And then, last year he decided to grandstand as well and then stand on his head for the last half of that and just hold the button down and finish off the game. It was pretty insane.
Just confirming, guys, for those of you in Australia, it's going to be 3 a.m. our time, but that's okay because like Matchbox 20 said, it's 3 a.m. You won't be lonely. Get up and be a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, it's going on for 12 hours too. So if you want to tune in at noon Australia time, we'll still be going at that point too. So, and that actually, the end of the stream's got some really good stuff too. Ultimate Chicken Horse is one of my personal favorite games. I played that a couple times with RSG to help raise some money for Stu and those folks who are struggling with their own charity stuff and doing some really great things as well, though. And I highly recommend at least checking out Ultimate Chicken Horse because that game is a blast. But they'll be doing Symphony of the Night, Castlevania, Towerfall, Crawl. I don't know if you guys ever played Crawl. It's like a dungeon crawler, but half the people get to play as the monsters. It's actually really fun. It's real weird. So it should be a good time.
Are you going to fit a bit of World of Warcraft in there just for CG Carrie?
We might have to just because I don't think a stream would be complete without Carrie playing a little bit of WoW, but we'd have to get it installed on one of the machines there. So I don't know. Maybe she could tune in from her home and stream from there or something.
So for those that are actually tuning into this, you're not going to be playing any Star Wars Galaxy Heroes for the entire duration, but could there be little hints and things dropped during that time of upcoming content?
Well, of course, if you tuned in last year, right, I happened to show a certain Mandalorian a few times on stream before he was released, and so there's always a couple little hints and stuff, and you should definitely watch the backgrounds of the stream for most of it because there'll always be some little clues and stuff back there. I assure you.
A few crumbs, if you will, Crumb.
Yes, sir.
So can you tell us about the charity that you guys are, of course, raising money for? I mean, because these guys are going to benefit quite a bit. And can you tell us a little bit more about the charity? Let's delve deep into these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, we're working directly with Extra Life, which is a fairly well-known charity. Obviously, it works with thousands of gamers all over the world, stuff to raise money for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. And the CMN Network hospitals are a pretty interesting place because 100% of those funds stay local to each of those hospitals. So it is directly impacting the kids in your area when you do this kind of stuff. I've worked with Children's Miracle Network before. They're a really great organization. They do really great stuff. They've got like 170 hospitals in the network. They've raised like $5 billion or something. It's insane. Like they're a huge powerhouse in this space, and it's really great to work with them. And said we are with Children's Miracle Network. You choose which hospital you are working with in your local community. So that's a really cool thing as well. That you're not helping someone across the world. While that is really important, you are changing people's lives around you. Your neighbors' kids, your kids in the future. It is something that everyone tangibly benefits from. So it's a really powerful thing. And I said we're working with UC Davis Children's Hospital. It's one of the only, I think, regional comprehensive hospitals for infants and children in the area. So it's a pretty important space for kids in that region. Yeah. I said last year we did helped raise money to build a children's surgery center, and that was really awesome because these are critical critical needs to that happen to kids that are these rare conditions, or something happens that an average hospital can't take care of. They're not equipped to deal with these things, and these neonatal care units and stuff like that can do some amazing stuff that just an average hospital just isn't equipped to deal with. So it's really important to have these in areas all over the United States, all over the world, so that kids have access to this stuff.
A little fun backstory, Crumb. I'm opening up my history in a way. UC Davis has been compared to Johns Hopkins Memorial. I think it's Johns Hopkins Memorial, but I know it's Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, Maryland. And that is where my son was born 3.5 months early. And the neonatal intensive care unit took such great care of him. We're recording this on Father's Day right now, and I just got a Father's Day card from what is to be my 17-year-old son. It's been that long. So
wow,
when
that's amazing.
When you're talking about neonatal intensive care units and you're talking about children's hospitals, they can work absolute wonders. My son was 1 pound and 12 ounces when he was born, 3.5 months early, and he's still here. So when they talk about extra life, literally, they're giving life through gaming charity events. So you couldn't have picked somebody better.
Well, that's really awesome and really powerful for sharing that. Thank you. This is something that affects literally everyone. People around you all the time. It's really great that we can provide this level of care in our community, but there's so many kids that don't have this. And for me, in my life, I take charity very seriously. I think, it should be a portion of everyone's life if they can. I really encourage everyone to dive in and do it. It's not scary as you think it is. And for me, I picked my 2 important things for children is a house. They need a home to live in, and they need to be healthy. And I think those are 2 critical things that every child needs to be successful in life. There are kids that persevere through that without those things and are absolutely amazing. But, I think that's the minimum level, and health and home is just something that's so critical during the development time. You just can't substitute for later in life. It is a thing that happens in that moment that you need to support. So I'm so glad to hear that John Hopkins really helped out your son there. It sounds like things have been going great and things are amazing.
Here in Australia, actually, I'm one of the ambassadors for the Ronald McDonald House, which is a home away from home for sick kids when they have to go and get their medical stuff done, and that's what we do in Australia. I'm an ambassador for that, and I love actually getting out there and spruiking the Ronald McDonald House and helping out those sick kids, with cancer and different things like that. I spend a lot of time for those guys too, so they're an amazing charity here in Australia as well. So I just thought I'd throw that out there for you too.
Fun thing for you, Scotty. I actually got to stay at a Ronald McDonald House in Baltimore. I was living in Ohio at the time when I got the call. Your son's being born, 18 hours away. I immediately hopped in the car and started driving, and got there just as they brought him into the world, and had no place to go. And they're like, "Here, 2 nights at Ronald McDonald House." So, thank you, Scotty.
Yeah, nice. It's a good place to be. Yeah, it's a good place to be, man. I can tell you that. But, look, I'm glad that you guys are doing this actually to help out the kids as well, which is sensational. And Crumb, I've got to ask you, because it wouldn't be right if I didn't. Who's your favorite child in the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes universe?
Oh, favorite child in the Star Wars Galaxy. That's an interesting one.
Well, I mean, you guys have given birth to every single character in the game. Who's your favorite child? Let's call him.
I was just telling Paul actually before we started recording here, and I think this will go live, and you guys have seen all this stuff. Like this is going live a little bit later. But Wat Tambor, man, I think he's my new favorite character in Galaxy of Heroes right now. His kit is so crazy and so weird. He's such an off the beaten path character as well. Oh man, I don't know. He's pretty awesome right now. But that being said, my man Boba Fett probably stands the test of time. That guy, he's my favorite character in the Star Wars universe in general. So of course he's my pet favorite. If I'm picking which child really gets to go to college, it's Boba Fett.
Oh man, well, maybe that's a hint, Scotty. Maybe that's a clue that we'll get child Boba Fett. But no, for those who aren't aware, Crumb is the person. If you just crawled out from underneath a crashed escape pod, Crumb, why don't you explain to the layman listener that may not, go on the forums of what you do to us. Me, us being, I'm a puzzle master that has to. You explain this.
This is the latest title card introduction for us. I've seen it a while. 14 minutes in, we'll introduce what I do half the time, which is I generate a lot of fun puzzles for the community to kind of get them excited about the new characters. Sort of give them some hints about things that are going to happen maybe with that character. And we always have some fun when legendary characters come out and stuff like that. So definitely got some plans coming down the pipeline. But Paul, you're a pretty big fan of these, is my understanding.
Yeah, I think that the bees have left the hive and the handkerchief is blue. I'm the one who remembered that.
Oh, I'm so glad one person did. That's all it takes. Someone's got to remember it.
Well, you also said in there that you can only speak in ciphers. So I'm very, very glad that you're not only speaking in ciphers when talking about UC Davis here today.
Yeah, today I'm being straight faced. You're getting laid back normal Crumb today, not crazy puzzle master Crumb, because this is a really good cause. I definitely want to talk about some more puzzle stuff in a moment, but just to go back to just remind everyone, we're hanging out tomorrow, Saturday, June 22nd, 10 a.m. Pacific to 10 p.m. Pacific. Come out, hang out with us, having a great time. I have a terrible confession to make, though. I won't be there.
Oh?
What?
I know.
No.
I know. It's
you
terrible.
Better have a good reason.
It was the only day they had tickets to Galaxy's Edge.
Okay.
And I had already booked it.
Fair enough. Are you going to build a lightsaber and build a droid?
Oh, I'm going to do all of it for sure. I'm definitely going to win at whatever Millennium Falcon game they have that is supposedly pretty hard. I'm going to do it all for sure. Everything. I'm incredibly excited for it.
You don't want to annoy Hondo, man. You don't want to annoy Hondo.
I know.
He'll get you.
I just want to hang out in the cantina. I'm just really, really stoked to just see what the experience is. And plus, a life-size Millennium Falcon is probably something my inner 5-year-old kid is just going to explode at. So that'll be great.
Absolutely. And, I've got to ask you about this too, because, you are going to be going to Galaxy's Edge. And, man, I can't wait to see some of the pics you guys are going to be sharing around there, because it's going to be awesome. Blue milk, anyone?
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely take some photos, and I'll maybe post them for one of the Friday wrap-ups or something like that to show everyone who hasn't had a chance to be there what it's like. But I don't know what I'm in for. I'm wait with anticipation.
Yeah, nice. And are you going to get some photos of Hondo, man, to share it with the rest
of course, got to get some Hondo for sure. Hondo. I've got a pretty decent camera I'm going to bring with me, I think, and I'm going to try and take as much stuff as I can.
We definitely need you and Hondo giving the thumbs up, so Thaddeus will stop bugging us.
Well, that could be the next puzzle, guys. That could be the next puzzle.
You never know.
So, of all the games that you guys are doing for this Extra Life gaming day, what is the one, since you're not going to be there, if you could magically transport back to do one and then come back, which one would it be? That Ultimate Chicken Horse, so the finale.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome. I'm okay at Smash Brothers. I am not necessarily one to be watched at Smash Brothers, though. Lethal League I'm okay at. I'm definitely not going to surpass the Link to the Past special challenge. So I figured I got to come in after the peak and sort of ride that wave to the end.
I'm excited you guys are doing Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time. That is an excellent cooperative game.
Oh, it is really good. Highly recommend that game as well. Me and my wife played through a good chunk of that, but it gets hard. That game, not messing around.
No.
Guys, I gotta say, watch the live stream. Even though Crumb's not going to be there during it, I got a sneaking suspicion that there might be a bit of a surprise there, where you might even be playing the Millennium Falcon game, perhaps.
Well, I've been, I was actually asking this week what kind of maybe call-in thing I could do if I could somehow like stream from my phone to the office or something. So I don't know. I can't make any promises. We've still got a couple days before I get out of here to figure something out. So I would love to do something like that. I will see what I can do. That's all I could say though.
Okay, so you may get a Crumb cameo if you tune in, which you definitely should. You guys are going, as you said at the beginning, your guys are going for 10K. I know you guys know about my GoFundMe and the 10K we're doing there.
Yeah, absolutely.
We almost hit 15K.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna let it go. I know. But that's in a month, and you guys are expecting to do this in 12 hours.
Yeah, it's ambitious. The previous year, 2 years ago now, actually, I think we set our goal at 2K because we were like, we're going to come out, we're going to do some donating, we'll get some of the community to get excited, they'll do some donating as well. Maybe we'll get a couple $1,000s. We raised $5,000 that first year. Last year, We're like, there's no way we're going to get anywhere close to what we set out to go to. And then we hit 10K, and we're like, wow, oh my God, what are we doing? So this year again, I think we want to shoot for a 10K again. It's a lofty goal. It is not easy. One of the cool things that actually is not counted into that and not counted into last year's 10K is that everyone at Capital submits their donations through EA for matching as well. So one of the cool things is all the employee donations that go through there are getting doubled, which isn't captured on that page. So that's kind of a cool thing as well, that we're getting even more. We probably got even more than 10K last year, which is super exciting. So fingers crossed we can make it. Hopefully you guys will come out and support us. We really, really appreciate every dollar you can give. It is a great, great cause, as both Paul and Scotty have said here. These are charities that, change people's lives around them and are critical to keeping kids on to the right track, man. I mean, I can't imagine growing up not having my health or my home. Those two things would be so scary to me. And, slightly personal for a moment here. So, like when I was a kid, I got stabbed in the ear by an unsuspecting friend on accident. This is like kindergarten. Kids do stupid stuff. So he jammed a pencil in my ear, and I got really badly injured. He smashed all my hearing bones. He pushed a bunch of skin into there, so it grew into a bunch of bad stuff, and had to have about 15 or so surgeries on my ear over the last 20 years to sort of get things working.
Wow.
And it was a really intense time, because you're so close to those tubes that allow you to balance and walk around, and your ears are so vital for when you're playing sports. And I was a super active kid, so for me, soccer, baseball, football, everything all day is all I did was play sports. Dad was in the computer industry, so I played a lot of video games as well, but video games was my life for sure. And then I had all these surgeries, and I was stuck in bed. Basically unable to move for like 2 weeks. And you think of like a hyperactive, like 11-year-old kid, like that is a death sentence. Like that is a prison you're never getting out of. And so my parents had actually bought me, a Super Nintendo to sort of keep me not bored or hopefully entertain me. And I destroyed Legend of Zelda, I destroyed Mario, Super Mario World. And so I became like, when my friends would come over, like they'd only played for a couple hours at night. I'd been playing for the last like 7 days straight, like I was an absolute expert. And so I had this like great time, like talking with my friends after work and updating them and telling them how to play the game and all these things that I'd learned. And this like super negative experience, and this is the reason I bring this up, is, it could have been a horrible, horrible thing for a kid who's 11, who's into sports, to basically be bedridden for 2 weeks and have no chance to even get out of bed. But video games strong healthcare helped me get through all this stuff and really changed what could have been a terrible experience into an incredibly positive experience that I attribute to today of why I think video games in particular is something that I dove into and said, it's entertainment. It's not heart surgery, but you know what? It does change people's lives, and it does do things that are really cool. And one of the things that it does is allows me to unite with other people around the world through Extra Life, through other great charities that now I can play games and like give back with my love of video games to bring more people health and homes and things like that. And it's truly an amazing thing. I don't want to get too sappy here, but that's sort of like why I care a lot about these things. It's something that's very personal to me. Like, I've had a lot of surgeries. I've been the kid who's stuck in hospitals for weeks, and it sucks. And there's so many things. I was lucky that I had lots of great health care, and I would never question that I was not going to get the best care possible. So, and not every kid can say that, and that's something that we can change. Every day we have the time and energy to do that. That's something that's super cool. But all right, diatribe over.
There's something I wanted to say as well, man. Like to shout this out as well. Like, so, a lot of people talk about the whales in the game. No. From this day forth, you will be known as a Purgle, and all the Purgles are, of course, encouraged to be a part of this stream. Make sure you head on over to Twitch. All of the info is up on the Capital Games website, so make sure you go there and check out the forums. We need all the Purgle. Calling all Purgle. Come and help Ezra Bridger out. But Paul, I digress, man.
But yeah, before I can't let him go just yet. Crumb, so you explained that you're the puzzle master, and you know that I love my puzzles. Is there any before we shoot you out of the escape pod here? Is there anything that you can preview that you might be able to drop a hint for what could be upcoming for me and these Swago events guys to be figuring out, or even something that we've been wondering about for a long time?
Well, unfortunately, the two puzzles I'm working on right now are in very early stages. I think I mentioned before, there's a couple characters that I'm really excited they're going to come to the game in the next few months, and I definitely want to do some puzzles for. I'm going to look at unconventional forms of communication. I'll say is my hint. I'm not going to post this one to the forums. It's not going to be in the dev announcements. I'm not going to make this easy for you guys anymore. So look for a little hint floating around somewhere, and that's all I can say for now, because I haven't built it out any further than that. So, but I have a couple ideas that I stay tuned for in the next couple months for sure.
Okay, I have a feeling that it's somewhere in that picture that you took from Celebration, because I noticed that there's a lot of you in there.
That is true. It's unfortunate part of the algorithm that we use to generate that thing. Put my face on it all over it. But I guess I have a very neutral face or something.
Okay, so there's no QR code to be found in there. I can stop looking.
I will tell you guys that there is nothing in those pictures. We did not hide anything. There is just a bunch of fun pictures that we did of just to show off the people from the office, people from Celebration, all our players, all sorts of awesome stuff. But no nefarious deeds behind that one. Don't worry.
Okay. Scotty, because I was thinking there was some QR code sitting in there, and I'm like, are we going to get like the frame of it or something in a puzzle?
Just wait for 6 months down the road, and then you'll see it.
A lot of people want to know how you come up with these puzzles, though, Crumb. Like, what do you do, man? Like, how do you? Let's go back and let's talk about that. How do you come up with them?
Sure. Yeah. Let's. I'll go into that a little bit here. I think I take each character, I kind of look at them and go, like, where do I want them people to get to? What is an interesting arc that I haven't done before? And I'll try and look through my sort of toolbox of ideas that people have given me, or that I found online, or I've come up with myself, or whatever. And I got a lot of help from these two, I should say. There's a bunch of people in the office who are amazing puzzle masters, and they come up with crazy ideas all the time. So it is a very collaborative thing as well. I should say that it's not just Puzzle Master Crumb, but we have to. I guess I'm the one that has to bring it all together in the end, though. So there's disparate parts of all these sort of different things that I'm sort of thinking of, and then I try and stitch them all together into an interesting narrative throw in a couple red herrings, think about what other accidental Star Wars references I've thrown in there. I swear every time I do a puzzle, someone finds a Star Wars reference that I had no idea was even in that puzzle. It's truly amazing. To answer your question more concisely, it's a lot of working backwards from where I want people to get, figuring out which bits of information I want to drop and where, and then how hard do I want to make it to get there? Like, is this a new character that everyone's going to blow their mind about? Then I want to make this thing hard. If it's just like, have some generic new guy who's cool, but maybe doesn't have quite the affinity of, like, I don't know, a new Jedi or something like that, then, we're probably not going to do quite as difficult a puzzle. And I'm trying to make also the payoffs be something interesting. I think last time I did it with Malik, I showed off a chunk of the kit, kind of scratched off as this sort of broken transmission that you got. And that was cool because you got kind of pieces of it. And you got these sort of ideas of what Malik was going to do, but you still didn't know the whole picture. And that I thought was really fun. So I want to do more stuff like that for sure. And try and get people different aspects of the kit, or something that's compelling and interesting besides just here's a name on a page, you figured out the name, congratulations, which is fun sometimes, but especially with certain characters. But for a lot of this, I would try to do something a little bit more fun.
So is in lieu of the bees have left the hive and the handkerchief is blue, before we wrap it up here, because we got to get to the bridge and get these people heading home in their escape pods. Is there anything that you'd like to drop at this time for people to be able to maybe try to remember?
Oh man, I don't have anything, man. I'm sorry, I can't.
It's okay.
It's so early on.
Okay.
If I say something, I would have to remember it so much later. At least with the bees left the hive, at least I knew exactly what I was going to do with that once I said it.
Oh, that's all good, man. But look, I tell you what, guys, make sure you be a part of the stream tomorrow. It's on Twitch. The link is, of course, over at the Capital Games website. So make sure you head on over there and be a part of it. Donate. Calling all Purgle. We need you guys to be a part of it and really donate. Dig deep for this one tomorrow, guys, because this is going to be a lot of fun. Well, Crumb, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you, man. And thanks so much for jumping into the escape pod with us. We won't kidnap you like we did Carrie, man. So thank you.
Thank you guys for having me on, seriously, and helping promote this really, really important cause to us. It's a really great cause. Check us out tomorrow. I'll be having fun. Maybe a special cameo from Crumb if I can figure something out. But yeah,
I like it.
Appreciate it, guys, again, having me on.
You're very welcome. Stick around for the bridge. If you have any questions, put them in the chat in Discord right now, and we'll get to them after this break right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
Hey there, it's Xylo Takedown from Takedown Games, and you're listening to the Escape Pod Cast.
G'day, this is Scotty McLaren, and I'm here to tell you about one of our very, very cool Patreons who also happens to be one of the many game changers which is out there. I'm talking about the one, the only, Urzatron.
Here we go, everybody. Who's ready for some Tuskens?
He's the man that brings the gaffy sticks. He's also the man that brings together Lobot versus the meta. He's the man that is the king of the Beauty and the Beast.
But you know what, Mommy? We ride single file, baby girl. And there you go.
If you haven't been to check out Urzatron's live streams before for Grand Arena, make sure you do it, because he is one of the coolest dudes which is out there, and he is the heartthrob of the Outer Rim after all.
You gotta get the 6, baby.
So, if you're looking for something to do today, especially with Grand Arena being more constant, make sure you go visit Urzatron. I fully endorse the man, and so does Cora.
Don't leave us waiting. We can make all your fantasies a reality.
Ladies and gentlemen, over the past 3 months, you've heard Scotty and I ask you for help with the GoFundMe to help cover my wife's medical expenses. Now, we all know Christy was diagnosed with follicular lymphoma last year in November. This is the final week of the general call to action. We may do a third phase in the future, but for now, let's get this to 15K this week. GoFundMe.com/Mrs. Anthony is where you should go to donate. help out if you can. Let's take care of Mrs. Anthony's deductibles and help make a difference today.
If you like what you hear on the Escape Podcast, sign up to become a Patreon today. Support Scotty and Paul for as low as $2 a month, and you can help them launch Escape Pods for months to come. Visit patreon.com/the Escape Pod to sign up. Support us today.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and you are listening to the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast. The Bridge.
And welcome back to the Escape Podcast, and we are now on the bridge. And look, before we get on out of here today, guys, I've just got to say that, look, we've had an absolute blast in here today. We've had the likes of CG Crumb, who's joined us for a chat, and also Grande, who has, of course, dropped by as well from Reality Skewed Gamers, which has been sensational. But look, we are on the bridge, and, this is where Grande gets to pretty much take over the show and ask us, well, do whatever the hell he wants. So we're giving him that opportunity. Grande, go for it, man.
That's it. I am assuming control of the bridge. You guys all take second seat. What we are going to talk about.
I'm still the commander.
No.
That sounds like a Spaceballs riff. But actually, a lot of YouTubers do, top 10 best Zetas, top 10 best characters, and that's like, you need to work on this, and those videos get a lot of views. A long time ago, I did a video about the worst characters in the game, and Miss Passier, Ranger J 1999 and I, before we came on, we started talking, and we said, okay, what are the worst 25% of the characters in the game that we would absolutely tell a player don't work on these characters? And then so we kind of looked at it, and 25% was like 43, and one of the guys, Haladeck, said, oh, it's the internet, it has to be the top 42 worst characters because it's the internet and everything is 42 on the internet. So we said the top 42 worst characters in the game, don't spend any time on them. Make sure you spend your resources somewhere else. And I will tell you, we got into arguments at the very bottom of the list on who should actually make the worst list and not make the best list. We actually got into a bigger conversation. So in no particular order, I want to read off.
I was going to say, Scotty, go ahead and read off 1 through 10. I'll take 11 through 20. And then Grande, you do 21 through 30. And then let's get into it.
Okay, I'm good with that. Let's do it that way.
All right. Well, let's start at number 42. Let's do that. Let's start from the bottom. And number 42.
No, because 42. The bottom of the list is where the arguments began.
Correct.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll start from the top. All right. Well, seeing as I know why you got me to read this. Because the number one worst character in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, according to Reality Skewed Gamers, is someone that I had to Zeta because I lost a bet with Cubs fan Han saying that Darth Malak was going to come before Darth Revan, and that's why I now have a Zeta on this particular character, Rose Tico. She comes in at number 1 as the worst character of the game, and I probably agree with that. Coming in at number 2, we've got, I guess you could say it's the Imperial Super Commando. And in at number 3, it's Gar Saxon, the two boys. They just seem to be no good there. It's problematic for those guys. In at number 4 and 5, I know that Urzatron's going to be hating you on these ones, guys, but because he's found a way to make these two work. Gamorrean Guard, according to Reality Skew Gamers, comes in at number 4, and Lobot comes in at number 5. Now, look, Lobot can work with some droids. I will disagree with that. I feel as if Lobot is someone that you can farm. He's one of those sorts of characters that's really good. Gamorrean Guard, that Beauty and the Beast team that Urzatron's found, absolutely sensational. I love that card. I love that outlook there. It's really good. Bodhi Rook's in at number 6. The Tusken Raider is in at number 7. Urza, you will not be very happy with this list. And at number 8, we've got the Coruscant Underworld Police. Kit Fisto comes in at number 9. And the number 10 character is Ugnaught. Now, looking at this right now, guys, can I just jump in here and just give you my thoughts? I don't think that Tusken Raider Lobot, or Gamorrean Guard, I think those three got the raw end of the stick, the raw end of the gaffy stick, so to speak.
You're probably right. They sure did, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I don't think that they deserve.
Now, I am going to correct Scotty. This was Miss Passier's stream,
right?
But Grande of RSG did end up contributing to this list.
Absolutely.
So my block of 10 here is the Jedi Knight Guardian. And then I especially wanted to do this one. And then the Mob Enforcer. And who we had on last week, McMull is going to be pissed.
Oh, yeah.
Because coming in at the 14th worst character is Pow.
Yes.
But then, of course, we do make up for it because you guys throw both Veteran Han and Veteran Chewie together.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. Coming in at 15 and 16. Then you got the Jedi Counselor, which, Nev would have a problem with you on that one, being in the absolute worst quarter. But then Night Sister Initiate.
Disagree.
Really?
I disagree.
Yeah, I disagree on that one as well.
We again, right? We were like, man, it's only got one spot, and it's kind of in some cheese teams, and we're like, okay, we'll take it. When you got to get to 42, you got to get to 42. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I disagree with her being so high up because just because of her recent viability with soloing the Sith raid P3.
Again, we talked about that, and we said that's a loop, and it's going to get fixed, right?
Yeah.
And so then we said, okay, so after the loop and after that gets fixed, what's the viability?
Yeah, good point.
Well, okay, I'm gonna kind of steal a little bit of thunder here, and I'm gonna make one of my very, 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 very good doctor friends very sad. Grande, I'm just gonna go 19 through 23 right now.
Totally get it.
Jawa Engineer, Dath Cha, Jawa Scavenger, and Nebbit.
Yes.
The Jawas.
Every single Jawa is on your list of
every single
42
Jawa is
worst
on the
characters.
list. Yes, they are. Again, Jawas had a point when you needed them for crit damage. I think it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the mods.
Way back in the day, they made good sense when we had droids to kind of work that. But droids have passed those guys by at this point. So has that using them in P1 of the AAT. So I really don't see any reason for that.
So you don't think that the Jawas are going to be facing off against Separatist droids better? Has anybody really actually taken them and been like, you want to make Grievous meta? Fine. Here's a team of Jawas, bitch.
I just am not seeing it. Look at their G13 pieces, right? None of them got good G13 pieces. And so, I would agree with you if we saw some kind of love with that G12 finisher piece. We saw zero love with G12 finishers.
I'll just throw out there too, that you're 100% right, Grande, about the Jawas. Here's the thing that really annoyed me is that I just got them to the point that I could actually get to that 16 part of the crit damage mods. And I just got them to the point that I could start to sim that. And then the nerf came out.
I know it. Well, I'll pick up at 24, and we'll kind of work our way through. So we have Resistance Pilot. Kind of seems like the odd woman out in the Resistance teams.
I agree with it.
Then we did Luminara, who
Spice Mine. Spice Mine.
I think Luminara, if we got a light side GOTB, might get a rework. So she might make it off the list for some reason.
Yeah.
We also got Eth Koth, again, another Galactic Republic character that desperate need of a rework. He could get a rework if we got a light side. Then we took the one of the odd bears out of the Ewoks with Ewok Scout. Farm Boy Luke only needed to gear 8 and 7-star for your CLS. Poggo the Lesser, again, a character that might get a quote-unquote molt again for GOTB, so he might be making it off of this list. Tebow, the other odd man out on everybody's favorite Murder Bears team, makes it on the list. And then we have Hoth Rebel Soldier and Hoth Rebel Scout. Both of them make the list because for some of us, we will not be doing the Hoth TBs anymore. That was the main reason to have them.
Yeah.
I have many guild members that just keep them at Gear 1, Level 1, 5-star, just so they can click the enter button, and then the other 4 rebels take them the rest of the way. Also, you can't have a list of the top 42 worst characters without having I'm a gonna die. I'm a Gundy makes this list. Again, potentially another Jedi that would get a rework if we had a light side GOTB.
Along with Kit Fisto, who was back in at number 9 as well, by the way.
Yes, that's right. So there's a lot of room for improvement here, isn't there?
Yeah.
The only dark side droid original to the game at launch that has not seen a rework, IG-86, comes in at number 34. We also get Tusken Shaman. I know a lot of people used him at different points. We also get
Story time. Story time.
Yeah, okay, story. Oh, man.
That's a shout out to you, Ursatron. Shout out to you, and enjoy your Grand Arena stream. I know that you will, brother. Welcome back.
Oh man! Then we also get Rebel Officer Leia Organa. She comes in at number 36. Phasma, Captain Phasma, also one of the odd people out on most people's First Order team. And then we put in at number 38. We put in IG-86. This is where we start to get kind of in this gray area.
No, 88.
IG-88. The reason why this is a gray area is because reworked Scoundrel has a ship, makes a lot of sense for a lot of people. IG-88 does. But we felt like it just wasn't worthy. The next character on the list, Mace Windu, at number 39.
Desperate need of a rework.
Desperate need of a rework. Here was some of our other thoughts on this. With the Negotiator coming, with GK getting a ship, probably being a better fleet commander for the Galactic Republic, what happens to Mace, right? What happens to Mace's ship? I don't know. Do we just leave it? Does it just kind of like die in the back? Feels like there's some there. The next one, again, another character with a really great ship. First Order TIE Pilot comes in at number 40. A lot of people had some trouble with this one because of how great the ship is, and we just decided it made the list. Then there was a huge discussion about this one. OG Lando, the original Lando from the game. A lot of people said they use him a bunch. A lot of people said with so much retribution, so many other kits coming in here that Lando is just not worth it anymore. And then number 42, the last person in the spot, is K2SO. Again, we had a lot of honorable mentions, Scarif Rebel Pathfinder being one of them. But that bottom, 6-8 characters, there was quite a lot of contention on who made the list and who shouldn't make the list. It was very heated
I
discussion.
disagree.
Okay.
I personally disagree with IG-88. I think if you're going to put any bounty hunter in there, it's got to be Zam Wessel.
No,
that was part of the discussion. I'm telling you.
Zam's good, man. Zam's really good. If you use her on offense, she's really good, especially under a Django vet lead. My goodness, the stuff that she can do, man, throwing out those thermal detonators and bang, bang, bang. Nah, she's much better than IG-88, brother.
But
much
IG-88 throws on the target locks.
Yeah, but he's squishy and he's crap and he needs to die. And that's what happens.
If you're using him on offense, if your thing is for offense one way or the other, you're better off, in my opinion, using IG-88.
No, I disagree.
You guys sound like us, man. I'm sure we have a lot of people's vanity characters on here. We have a lot of characters. Again, this list is completely situational. Some of these characters could get reworks tomorrow. Poggle being one of them, right? And then the list would change. And then, of course, with the upside potential on the light side GOTB, potentially maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the road, this list would completely change. But at the moment, I think there are a lot of characters here that if I was a new player, if I was a younger player, or if I was mentoring a younger player, I would probably tell them, why don't you stay away from these guys and let's work on something else.
Okay, now I'm going to throw something out there, guys. And we did discuss about the light side with the light side territory battle to make the Jedi much better. But I'm going to throw this out there just because I've got a funny feeling that this is where these guys might end up. Now, just bear with me for a second, guys, because I'm just selecting them all right now. So here we go. These are the ones that I feel as if come the end of 2019, they will not be on this list. And this is due to the fact that we are talking about a new movie, which is going to be released, and that is Episode 9. With OG Lando, he will not be on that list, man, because he'll get a rework. He'll get so much better, and we'll probably get old Lando at some stage. I'm just speculating here. First Order TIE Pilot, I think will definitely get a rework, or something will make him much better and much more suitable to be using. Captain Phasma, depending on if she's in the new movie or not, if she's going to die, if she's really dead. Yeah, if she's really dead or not, she's going to be someone that could be viable a bit later. Vet Chewie and Vet Han, we all know that they are garbage characters, but we needed them for Jedi Training Rey. Mine are still sitting at Gear 9 just for that event. And, basically get them the 7 stars.
Scotty.
Maybe.
No. As far as Vet Chewie, maybe. Vet Han, spoiler alert, he's dead, Scotty. Have you seen episode 8?
That was 3 movies ago.
Episode 7? Yeah.
Yeah, just wait. I'm getting to that point. You cut me off, brother. You cut me off. Now, if you watch the trailer, right? Let's watch the trailer again. And what the trailer says, nobody's ever really gone.
Force Ghost veteran Han.
Exactly.
You heard it here first on the Escape Pod. Yes.
Nobody's ever really gone. And the other character is your number one, man. I reckon that the developers will certainly want to make her some form of viable at some stage, and that is Rose Tico. I feel as if she'll probably get some form of love thrown her way at some stage. And all those people that have had to, as a punishment, Zeta Rose Tico, they'll be cheering and rejoicing because that's what they'll need to get themselves the Grand Admiral Snoke, and I reckon that'll be what's needed.
Grand Admiral Snoke.
But no, I'm surprised though, man. I've got to throw this out there because they're those characters that I think come the end of the year, that come 2019, early 2020, they'll definitely be fixed. But there's one character that's not on your list, man, that I'm actually surprised that didn't make the cut, and that's Amelin Holdo. Why?
Again, we talked about how great of a tank she was if you mod her correctly. She was in the discussion, heavily in the discussion, but some people said they really liked her, and so we did not put her on the list. I think you're absolutely right about the Resistance faction and about the First Order faction. I think we get a rework with a new movie or more characters, and so probably some of the current characters we have become more viable in those two factions, and some of them potentially become less viable. 100% agree with you there.
But Holdo. I mean,
Holdo was definitely part of the discussion. Absolutely.
Because, I've got to say that Holdo I'd probably have in there maybe over the IG-88 for mine, or even Lando.
It was an hour discussion on this list.
Yeah, I bet there was. And we'll probably go for an hour about this as well myself. But wow, that's pretty cool.
If we had time to do that, but we are up against it already. So.
Leave a comment in the listener lounge and tell us what you think. Who are the worst characters in your view? And were any there that we announced just a moment ago? Were there any in there that you'd say, yeah, absolutely, they are garbage? Or is there any there that you think that are good? Leave a comment in the listener lounge. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, or on the video, because it couldn't be worse than any of the other comments, right?
Well, this is true. Yeah, it's Crocodile Done Dickless. Love it.
Well, I really quick, I want to, if they're still listening, there's a guy who goes to a local comic book store. You know how I always go pick up my comics on Thursday and Friday nights before the show sometimes.
You go visit the comic book guy.
the worst movie ever. Not the comic book guy, not Jesse, not my paper dealer.
Yeah, right.
I'm talking about a customer of the store that I go to. Jesse told me about. I believe that his name was Bruce, and he was freaking out when he's like, "Oh my God, the Escape Pod guy shops here." Dude, come into the Discord. Become a Patreon of us. See, now you know where I was doing the segue. Become a Patreon of us. Reach out to us. We would love to have anybody that is a fan of this show to join us and talk to us. We have a lot of fun in our little Patreon thing. So patreon.com/theescapepod.
Yeah, make sure you
our website for that.
Yeah, make sure you do that. And Paul, it's funny, you were talking about the comic book guy that you ran into, your comic book friend, and I got to share this story, man. I was actually checking out in my Ruber the other day, and the Ruber driver rocks up, and the Ruber says to me, he says, "Oh, Scotty, oh my gosh, you're that guy that's from the Escape podcast." And I said, "I am, man, I am." And you'll actually see him now pop up in the Escape podcast lounge as well, the Ruber driver, otherwise known as Uber. Shout out to you, brother.
Nice.
Awesome.
That is hilarious.
Meeting a person in real life and what they say to you is how I got the nickname The Big Deal. I met a lady at a conference, and she looked over. She goes, "You play that Star Wars game?" And I was like, "Yeah, do you want to look at my phone?" And she clicked onto the home screen. She's like, "You're GrandePatron." And she looks at her boss, who I happen to know from real life, and she goes, "Do you know he's kind of a big deal?" And I was like, "Oh my God." So of course then I relay that story, and then I get that nickname everywhere, GrandePatron. He's kind of a big deal. You're killing me, guys. You're killing me.
But shout out to every single person that is a fan of this show. We appreciate you, whether or not you're a Patreon
or Reality Skewed gamers, for that matter. Yeah, Reality Skewed gamers. Yeah.
Exactly. If you're a fan of any content creators, go to the content creators that support fellow content creators. Give them a like. Give them a subscribe. Support the small podcast that people can't remember the name of. And you're going to go far in this game with great advice.
Absolutely.
Indeed you will. And look, that about wraps us up for yet another week, guys. And look, it's been an absolute pleasure seeing you on this show with us. Paul Anthony, man, thank you very much, brother. You enjoy your week, won't you, man?
It's I'm going to be able to edit this up and post it at 8:00 everywhere, and 7:30 on our Discord channel. So it's going to work out just fine. But it's always a pleasure here, Scotty, and I'm grateful for this escape, if you will.
Well, hey guys,
sharing it with you.
I'm going to tell you, I really appreciate you guys having me on. It was great being the first, quote unquote, almost full length guest host. And I think it's about that time, guys. Scotty, push the button.
Don't mind if I do.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuits. Evacuate the city. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship! Where is it? Where is it? It's gonna be here. Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
6! What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1.